Magic is definitely not having its best moment. After Spider-Man, Avatar is also getting some of the fallout. And so many of us might be asking ourselves, what's the future of Magic? Will it recover, and can it handle this demanding market, especially with so much competition from other card games? So let's take a look at 3 unique things that make us believe that Magic, the Gathering, is simply too big and too important to fail despite some temporary market turbulence. First, a very deep and dedicated pool of engaged players. This is the factor that allowed Magic to get through the 2000 to 2001 crisis unscathed. And it's what really keeps the game going, even at times when it simply doesn't deliver on player expectations. That's what happened with Spider-Man, there's no sugarcoating it, but we're moving on to the next sets. Interest in Magic is still very high, and people who've been playing the game for years aren't just going to abandon it because 1 or 2 sets were simply unsuccessful. Second, the utility of the Magic, the Gathering product. Because it's not often aimed at collectors. I mean, sure, collector booster boxes are for collectors, but regular boxes are aimed primarily at players. And their nature is that sooner or later, most boxes just get drafted, opened by players, and used for deck building. Of course, this only makes sense up to a certain price point. Obviously, a Shadowmoor box, which now costs well over €1,000, isn't going to be drafted at a local game store. But something like Spider-Man, for instance, if newer sets aren't as popular, or the second Marvel set turns out to be much better, that's a completely different story. Third, Magic understands its player base very well and makes sure that every set has something for everyone. In Magic, we have a growing casual audience that plays at kitchen tables and after work with their friends. Commander in particular generates a huge demand for cards, and practically every new set contains some cards that Commander players need. And so this player pool really fills a large part of the demand, and we can be confident that with a game this strong and really this epic after more than 30 years of existence, there's a large group of players who have simply made it their hobby and are ready to keep going and forgive Wizards.